Okay, hi guys. Yesterday, Monday the 20th, I went ahead and assigned this article here, the link between the coronavirus and wildlife. And again, when you use Newsela, you can change the Lexile level up here if the text appears too difficult or if it appears to be too easy. I just want to go through real quick and review with you essential standard number 2, identifying the main idea and rewriting a summary for informational text. So as I look through this article, the first thing I want to point out is those headings. I went ahead and highlighted them. The first one, a bat is the main suspect. The second one, wildlife markets are disease breeding grounds. And the last one, countries must step up and take action. And so what do all of those have in common? Well, that's going to be our main idea or what the article is mostly about. So when I think about the bats being the suspect of the virus and how these markets where they're selling exotic or wild animals are disease filled, and that we need to kind of have an action plan and stop the sale of these wildlife. They're all connected to wildlife and being the cause of this virus, right? And so I went ahead and highlighted here in yellow what it's mainly about. Over to the side, once you highlight and pick your color, you can annotate. So if you're in my class, we've done this before. If not, this is just like doing a stop and jot or taking notes in the margins when you're reading. So I'm going to reword this because that will help me with my summary that I'm going to write here in just a minute. So it says some scientists suspect it might have come from one of Wuhan's, which we know now is a city in China, wildlife markets where wild animals are bought and sold for food. They think that a diseased animal from one of the markets was likely butchered or eaten, and the virus could have then spilled over into human population, but the issue is far from settled. Okay, so if we're talking about what it's mostly about, right, the article is mostly about how the virus began as part of a wild animal and then spilled over into the human population. Okay, so I'm going to write that in my own words. So the virus likely started at a wildlife market across the globe, right, or in China, and was transferred somehow to humans. Okay. And then I'm going to use these headings to help me with my key or important details. So what I did was I just found some evidence that supports the heading. The heading is kind of like a chapter name. And so here in this second paragraph under the heading, it states it is most likely that the virus first came from a bat. And it says that there's a quotation here from Chris Walzer, one of the leaders of WCS, which is the Wildlife Conservation Society. What we don't know is how the virus got into humans. We also do not know if it's passed through other animals before humans. Okay, so again, I'm going to click on it. This is just an important detail about the animal that they suspect. So in my own words, I could write something like the virus more than likely came from a bat. Okay. The second section talks about how wildlife markets are disease breeding grounds, right? They are not sanitary. They are not somewhere that you want to be purchasing meat. And so they definitely lots of bacteria brewing, and that's how things kind of got out of control here. So it says here that Walzer said that the unsanitary conditions are the dirty conditions, not sanitary, not sanitized at most markets. It's only a matter of time before new diseases emerge. Eventually, there will be a virus that can enter humans and replicate or make copies. And on rare occasions, the virus will spread from human to human. Okay, so again, I'm trying to, in my own words, summarize how wildlife markets are disease breeding grounds. So it talks here about the unsanitary conditions really can lead to new viruses. So that's what I'm going to write here. Okay, so these wildlife markets have unsanitary conditions, and as a result, viruses can emerge and let's see, and can infect humans. Okay, so again, when I write a summary, I want to reword and retell the details, and so that's what I'm doing here, because in just a minute we're going to take that information over into our Google Docs. Okay, and then the last one is asking for a call to action. Countries really need to step up and take an action, right? They need to just kind of ban these wildlife tradings that are happening in other parts of the world. And so I've highlighted the coronavirus outbreak might kickstart action on wildlife trading in Southeast Asia. And as you read, they've talked about how China has stopped the sale of wild animals for food. Vietnam is beginning to do that. It talks about having a domino effect and looking for countries like Cambodia and Laos and Indonesia to follow in their footsteps. And so here, I would want to reword that. So this outbreak we're having right now will cause the countries to come up with a plan to stop the sale of these wild animals for food. So I'm going to write something like that, right? So the COVID virus has caused several countries to stop the sale of wild animals for food, right? And so again, when you look at an article that's informational, you always want to check out those headings first. See how they're connected, okay? In this example, the headings were connected by wildlife and the virus, right? That's our main idea. And then let's look for some key details to support it, okay? So I'm going to take my notes here and I'm going to bring them over to my Google Docs that I've started. So later this week, you'll be writing a summary. In my class, I like to use the acronym TAAMIO because it is a good way to have a complete summary. Okay, so if you have another strategy, that's awesome, but I'm just going to review how we do that. Again, I'm able to copy and paste without plagiarizing because I reworded the information as I took my notes. If I'm someone who likes to copy it word for word, then I would need to reword it here. Okay, so when we use TAAMIO, we're looking for text type. In our example today, we were reading an article. So we could start in the article. We're going to name the article. Okay, wildlife and, oh, what was it called? Let's see. Oops. Sorry, guys. This is all kind of new to me. The link between the coronavirus and wildlife. Okay. In the article, oops, the link between coronavirus and the wildlife, right? And then I don't believe there was an author, but let's check. If the author's unknown, we'll just say author. I think with Newsella, it's Newsella staff members, so we don't actually have the name. So we will just type the author, okay? We have our text type and author, and now we're gonna go ahead and move on to action word, and that could be something like teaches, describes, explains, just an action word, tells, shows. I would probably use the word teaches. Okay. And then I'm going to include my main idea. So this here is going to be my first sentence. In the article, the link between the coronavirus and wildlife, the author teaches, and then here's my main idea. So let's make some adjustments. The author teaches that the coronavirus likely started at a wildlife market across the globe in China and was somehow transferred to humans. Okay, so that's a great way to start my summary. I have my text, I have my author, I have my action word, okay? And then I have my main idea, okay? And then my key details, the virus likely started at a wildlife market across the globe in China and was transferred somehow to humans. These wildlife markets have unsanitary conditions, and as a result, viruses can emerge and can infect humans. The COVID virus has caused several countries to stop the sale of wild animals for food. Now, organization of text. Some common ones here are cause and effect, problem and solution, sequence of events. Okay. I would probably use cause and effect here. And so some cause and effect words might be as a result, which I believe we did use. So cause, effect. So let's go in and see if we can plug some of those in. So the virus likely started at a wildlife market across the globe and in China and was transferred somehow to humans. Okay, let's see. And was transferred somehow to humans. The virus likely started at a wildlife market across the globe in China and was transferred somehow to humans, right? These wildlife markets have unsanitary conditions, so we have, and as a result, viruses can emerge and can affect humans. The COVID virus has caused several countries to stop the sale of wild animals for food. So I have clear evidence of cause and effect in these two sentences. Caused and also as a result. Okay, so I definitely like to have one in each sentence. Let's look at the first one. The virus, let's see, the virus likely started at a wildlife market across the globe in China and was somehow transferred somehow to humans. So we currently have an epidemic, right? Or we currently have an outbreak on our hands. We currently have a, epidemic. Okay. Again, TAAMIO is one way to look at writing a summary. A summary is shorter than the original text. This is. It's written in your own words. This is. And it is factual, right? None of your opinions, okay? So that's today's lesson on writing a summary, and you'll be reading and writing a summary later today. Okay, bye-bye.